Hey, you guys, I'm back. I wanted to talk about one more thing before we go today, and that is the gender Gumby. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of Gumby. He was like this little cartoon guy in the 70s. I keep talking about the 70s. I'm really not that old. But anyway, he stretched a lot, and you could kind of form him into whatever you wanted. So somebody concocted this great idea. It's called the gender Gumby, and basically it gets you thinking outside of the binary, which is left, right, black, white, male, female. It starts to get you thinking on a spectrum. And sometimes if you've ever heard black and white, you'll know there's gray area in between. And the Gumby part here is a little bit gray. I'll just touch on each one real quick, and hopefully if there's time, you guys can talk about this in your session today. So your sex assigned at birth is actually not gray area. Generally speaking, you were assigned male or female at birth. When you were born, they looked at your external genitalia. So I have a maple syrup on my finger. And they said, it's a boy or it's a girl, and usually on visual inspection only. They don't test your chromosomes. They don't check for all the other things that could potentially make you male or female. And by the way, if you sometimes exhibit both external genitalia, that's called intersex, and it happens way more frequently than you'd think. And a lot of times the doctors and the parents will kind of just arbitrarily decide on one, but it's not common. It's more common than you think, but it's not that common. So you're generally assigned male or female at birth. And that is not, sadly, up to you. You never get to decide what sex you were assigned at birth. But the good news is most everything else you do get to decide or put your foot down on. For instance, your gender identity. You get to decide what your gender identity is. And it kind of decides itself. You grow to understand it over a lifetime. Mine, for example, here's the male side and the female side. If it were a switch, I fall slightly to the feminine side of the middle, but I'm still definitely in the gray area. I guess I identify a little bit more female, just in slight ways. Like I could go on and on and on as to why I think that. Probably because I was socialized female, but sometimes I think I just, for instance, I like to cook. I like to do laundry. I don't like to play sports. Now, I don't know. Are those girl things, boy things? I don't know. Talk amongst yourselves. But I definitely fall in the gray area, just not like smack in the middle. Gender presentation is a big one because that is how you appear to the outside world. And you do very much get to decide that. You may be a girl who looks a little masculine or a little butch, or maybe your face isn't as delicate, flower as some girls, kind of like my own. I was born with this nose. I mean, what do? You just accept it. But you could actually, like, sometimes play games with gender and sometimes dress up as the other gender. That's sometimes called drag. Or sometimes you want to femme it up or butch it up. Or sometimes boys want to wear a little bit of makeup, or they want to shave their body hair, or they want to grow their hair out long. Or there's a million and one things you can do to express your gender. And sometimes if you're gender queer like me, you play around with that quite a bit. Like in my lifetime, I one point in my early 20s, I was very, very butchy. I had a shaved head, shaved, bald, with a little flat top, which was popular back then, and suits and ties, the whole 9 yards. As time went on, I went through like a hippie phase where I'd wear like long flowy dresses, grew my hair out long. So gender presentation, up to you. Sexual orientation, I don't believe should be on the gender Gumby because I don't think it has anything to do with gender, but I'll just touch on it quickly to explain why I think it's here. Sexual orientation is who you are attracted to, and you don't usually get to pick that. Usually it just is what it is. You're born that way, as they say. And if you're attracted, say for instance you're a boy and you're attracted to other boys, you're homosexual. If you're a boy, you're attracted to a girl, you're heterosexual. What if you're not a boy? What if you're not a girl? For instance, I was born a girl, but I don't identify as a girl. I'm attracted to boys. Am I heterosexual? Does that mean it doesn't fit for me? I'm not heterosexual because I'm not a girl to start with. So just wanted to open up that conversation. It's a little bit weird. It's a little bit out there. There's other words you can Google: pansexual, asexual. There's all kinds of words to describe your sexual orientation that doesn't necessarily have to include your gender in the equation to describe who you like and who you're attracted to. The world's a big place. There's room for all of us. Okay, I hope you guys had a great time today, and I hope this exploded your brain into new and wonderful ways of thinking about gender. Bye-bye.